We have carts that we use to move big pieces and materials around Merrill Tool Machine in our facility in Merrill. And the cart right now that we have in the facility is too heavy, and it's kind of too big, and it has a hard time getting around corners. And so what we did was we invited the students to come to the facility and tour the facility and showed them our cart and asked them to design a new cart that would be lighter and easier to move around the facility.
We started off the year by taking a tour of their facilities, which the kids loved. Their eyes were like, this big.
There's a kind of a misunderstanding of what manufacturing is. It's not your grandfather's manufacturing anymore. So we wanted them to see, the plant has lights, it's clean. And then after we brought the teachers in, we met with some of the engineers and the general manager of the plant and said, what's some project that we can use to provide the students, the skills and knowledge they need in the classroom. And we came up with this cart design.
First we start with an entry document, like here's the project that we're gonna do. And then we ask the kids to tell us what they need to know in order to do the projects and be successful at it.
We did what's called the scope of work. We provided them a scope of work and let them know we're basically hiring you as our engineers to redesign this cart.
We would learn certain skills on one project, and then we would apply it on the Merrill Cart project.
We come back to the school, we brought our engineers in and our manufacturing manager to visit with the students and review the project throughout its life cycle. And also we did WebExes with them, so sometimes we couldn't get here, so they would go talk back and forth via WebEx.
It was an ongoing thing where we kind of scaffolded it out to the Merrill Cart project would be completed at the end. It was started at the beginning of the year, and it was kind of an ongoing thing.
So it's part of their math. They've got geometry, trigonometry, and there's also an engineering component to it.
Learning in everything project-based, you're collaborating with people around you to get one common goal, but that common goal has so many different aspects that you learn along the way, and it kind of doesn't feel like you're learning, but you are.
And they ended up modeling this thing on our CAD software that we use and putting it into working drawings with dimensions and a bill of materials that showed how much material Merrill would need to make this, what sizes they are, what the material was made out of. But there were some that said it was really, really difficult.
It was stressful on the students, and it was a very difficult project.
That was their dislike, that it was really hard. I said, did you learn a lot? And they were like, oh yeah. So even though it was painful, there's some good things to come out of it.
Yesterday we presented to Merrill Technologies our final cart, and it was no big deal. We were just presenting our ideas and they were listening.
We got to sit down in groups of 3 and present to some of the folks from Merrill. And that was a valuable experience because they got to talk. It's kind of like an interview, it's a valuable skill.
You're seeing a mix of all different things as the students are coming in. There have been students that have come in and their teams and said, okay, here's our cart, what do you think of it, ask us questions, to almost a sales and marketing presentation where they've got all of the historical statistics behind why they picked whether it was carbon steel or what material they picked.
There's more of a purpose. The kids are understanding why we're doing it, and they're making the connections to how they might use this stuff outside in the real world.
Instead of just thinking back to like a page that I read in the book or a textbook, I can actually think back to what I had to put into this PowerPoint or what I had to put in this video and what I had to teach someone else.
You're going to remember your high school experience.
I loved it, and I loved how I learned about the stuff in the project.
Traditional classroom, I give them a book, we talk about it, we write about it, but now they're out doing. I think I've made a group of students become doers and not just thinkers, and that makes a difference.
I think it prepares them better to work for anybody. Industry spends over $150 billion a year in training their people, and a large percentage of that training is in the soft skills, things like communication, teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking, and they're getting that here.
They actually can see what they're doing is paying off.
My favorite project was the Merrill Cart project. Cue gasps. Everybody hated it. I hated it for about halfway through the year. All of these we had to do all these isometric views and all these sketches, and it was so stressful. And I think that
Through doing that project though, I've learned like the most. It felt so gratifying to see their faces when we presented this cart and just to see how shocked they were that 9th graders built them a cart for their shop. And it was like I said, it was just the most gratifying moment, and I wouldn't trade it for anything now that it's over.